In the heart of Turkey's Fertile Crescent, where ancient myths echo across time, lies a discovery so profound it challenges everything we thought we knew about human history. Welcome to Gobekli Tepe, the 11,500-year-old temple, where the seeds of human society were planted long before the fields of the first farms. We've been lucky to experience some of the most impressive ancient structures the human civilization had to offer over the millennia. But there's nowhere I've wanted to tell a story about more than Gobekli Tepe.
Thomas had such a fascination with this place that we had a book in our apartment that was always on his nightstand. It was talking about this place and how it breaks everything we know about human history. And he really wanted to come, but due to personal circumstances, he couldn't join us for this. But he's obviously the narrator, so you're gonna still hear his voice.
The very discovery of this place in 1994 forces a significant revision of the story of human civilization. Previous evidence had led historians to believe that humans began the first civilizations around 6,000 years ago, very close by in Mesopotamia. And it is around this period we developed the skills to build complex structures. However, the megastone structures with extremely detailed carvings found at Gobekli Tepe are dated back to 11,500 years ago. This suggests that what we previously believed were unskilled hunter-gatherers were actually cultures capable of organizing large groups to undertake extensive and precise construction projects. So what is the true human story? Well, we don't know either. But today, we'll make sure you get to meet someone who spent the last 3 decades of his life asking and rigorously researching that question. Amar, along with Stefan and Corey, take us all the way to Turkey today to visit Gobekli Tepe and dive deeper into our origin story. And through a complete strike of luck, they managed to capture details about this discovery that have never been filmed before.
Nice to meet you, man. What's your name?
Sam.
Sam, yeah. I'm Stefan.
Local guy.
Oh.
Amar.
I'm Chelly.
Nice to meet you.
Hi, Stefan.
How are you?
Great.
5 years ago or 10 years ago, we just thought that Göbekli is unique, just it's long. But then the excavation is keep going more. Now we understand there's 12 of it. Different size, different places with the same culture.
What's this? We have arrived. Wait, are we gonna be the first one entering?
Do you remember when the discovery was made in your childhood?
Basically, it was known as a point.
So the locals knew something was going on here, but archaeologists haven't?
1963.
Wow.
They just pointed here. They said this should be a Neolithic place.
When Gobekli Tepe was finally revealed for the first time in 1996, that followed an earlier expedition to that area. There was an American team that went there in the 1950s, and they saw bits of very nicely carved stone sticking out of the side of the hill of Gobekli Tepe. But they decided not to investigate them further, and the reason they made that decision was because the stone was so nicely cut that their biases and their prejudices convinced them that it must have been Byzantine, and therefore they didn't look further. It wasn't until 1996, I think, that Klaus Schmidt and the German Archaeological Institute went in and investigated and found that actually they're looking at a site that's 11,600 years old.
Yeah.
This is Graham Hancock, a renowned author and explorer whose work has captivated curious minds around the world. Known for his provocative theories on ancient civilizations, Hancock challenges conventional historical and archaeological narratives, suggesting that human history extends far beyond what is commonly accepted. His explorations into the realms of archaeology, mythology, and astronomy have sparked significant debate and have encouraged a re-evaluation of humanity's past. Göbekli is a site of extreme importance to Graham, as it irrevocably supports some of his claims. Amar had the pleasure of meeting Graham in 2023 through our friend Jesse, and a few days before embarking on this trip, he decided to pay Graham a visit in his home in the UK to ask questions and hear the theories from the man himself.
More and more sites are being excavated and discovered, so we can say that Göbekli Tepe itself was part of a lost civilization that existed in Turkey at that time, which in very many ways is extremely anomalous and extremely puzzling.
We've got about an hour until the site actually opens, so thinking of going down to the village to ask some people how it was, just when the discovery, how when the excavation happened, and what they remember of that time.
Salam alaikum. Hi.
What does he remember about the time when they discovered or started doing the excavation?
Ben 17-18 yaşındaydım. Büyük bir traktora çift sürdüm ben oraya. Çift sürdüm. Sonra 22-23 yaşına geldim. Klaus Liker Almanya'dan geldi. Orada dedi ki burada kazı kazacak yaptı. Sonra orada çalıştım. Sonra bir baktım o kırıkımız taştan heykel çıktı. Büyük bir heykel çıktı. Resim çıktı. Biz ama bilmiyoruz. O çıktı. Ondan sonra ben dedim ki Klaus Liker'e söyledim. Klaus dedim ki bu nedir yani dedi taş devri dedi.
Does he or people in general in the village understand the magnitude of what was found here?
Amerika'dan eğer Asya'dan insanlar geliyorsa, dünyanın öbür köşesine geliyorsa muhakkak bunun bir değeri vardır yani.
The town that is like right here, right below the site, they don't fully grasp why this place is so important because it's not even in the curriculums or anything like that yet. Before they started doing the excavation, what did you think that place was?
Türbe vardı, ağaç vardı. Ben orada koyun yaylatıyordum. Hiçbir şey yoktu, tarlaydı. Evet.
Zaten sapsı oradan, şavak amis sürüdür oradan çıktı. Böyle ufak bir heykel çıktı böyle.
We saw the sculpture somewhere around in the middle of 80s.
In the middle of the 80s, so even before the excavation.
Köye getirdi, insan utanın da bakmaya.
When the Uncle Shawak found out the sculpture, we get shamed to look at.
Okay.
Like it has because it has a phallus.
Yeah.
If something has phallus, it's
Okay.
Büyük kemik çıktı. Ben kılavuza dedim, kılavuz kemiği kaldım. Dedi ki bu dinozor dedi. Dedi ki o zamanki Haran Ovası denizdi. Dedi kıyı bu şey vurdu buraya getirdi. Ben de bekliyorum.
Where's that bone? Where's the bone?
Abi.
Görüşürüz Mustafa abi, sağ ol.
I guess he is. Wow, he's leaving us at the fucking biggest cliffhanger ever. Dinosaur bone, you're not gonna leave us there.
Mustafa.
The story stops at the dinosaur bone. Do you have any like mystical theories around Gobekli Tepe and
It is the gate of the other world. You can jump in and you can find. I have no any mystical things. 10,000 BC is a long distance to dream about it.
We don't even know how the pyramids were built or what they were truly there for. So, let alone something with way less context and much older.
You just give the answer.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, it's pretty wild to think about that. The old man we spoke to, him and his friend was walking here and found one of the first artifacts of this place, and now it's this massively famous place where people come from all around the world to come and visit. This is Flintstone.
You are not able to find flintstone in the nature in these shapes. They are out of shape. This is going to be like they are chipped. They didn't have any iron, metals. They didn't domesticate animals. No professional agriculture. So just not settled.
Rolling up on the first site right now.
Welcome and meet Göbekli Tepe.
Wow. I mean,
Older
look at
than
the carvings.
Anything you know.
This is what our ancestors did so long ago, over 11,000 years ago, when we thought it was just cavemen, roaming the earth. They had enough technology and enough machinery, if we call it that, to actually put this up and do carvings of different animals. And wow.
How did you do these carvings here? And how did imagine 11,600 years ago?
The pyramids were closer to us living today than the building of these structures was to building the pyramids. This existed before the domestication of horses and the invention of wheel. The problem is because we can't go down, you can't see the human, a human scale next to it. The footage is just not gonna do it justice. That's my biggest problem now, is this is maybe 10-12 meters high. It's giving me Stonehenge vibe, right? Maybe it's because the T-shaped and all of that, but places like this just always make me wonder of what the true human story is. I feel like we've accepted for so long what we've just been told about who we are and how old we are and different civilizations that rose. And to just be living at a time where pretty much every decade we're making a groundbreaking exploration or finding that redefines what this story is. I've personally wanted to come here to see it for myself and to hopefully, get to tell the story in a way that allows more people to see the beauty of the fact that we're in an ever evolving story that we can collectively redefine together. Nothing is set in stone, and that's the beautiful part about our story. And it's also something that gives me a lot of hope about the future, is how it's this ever evolving, constantly being redefined by our curiosity and the things that we find in different corners of this planet. Now that we've had our time of wonder, what is this?
We don't know basically what is it. The thing is too old to understand. But the main shocking thing is, this is an example of organization.
Yeah. Because at this moment we did not think that human beings were organized or cooperating in the way that this showed us that they have.
Somebody had to do this, and somebody had to hunt and carry them some food, something. So this is an organization, and organization is our kind's miracle.
Yeah.
The Göbekli changed the idea of all archaeology. Before this, they just told us everything was started with the professional agriculture.
Yeah.
They get together for a reason to show their respect to something.
Wow.
So could be believing the main thing is the point of us. Religion is an organization, and government is an organization, big organization. This could be the firstly example of this kind of organization.
That's so wild to think about that we're standing here.
It's pretty damn inspiring to be where it all began for now, because I think I really believe that we're going to continue to discover more and more things that will continue to rewrite and redefine what we know about our own history, and to answer these big questions of who we are, why we're here, what are we meant to do together. And I hope that through these videos we also get to help answer some of these questions, both for ourselves but also for everybody that watches. Tell me that was f***ing inspiring.
Yeah. We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
After millennia, the mystery of Gobekli Tepe still leaves us scratching our heads. What exactly happened here, and why was it built? But there is a mystery that some may argue may be far greater, yet no one is talking about it. The Seek Discomfort mystery boxes. 3 boxes, 3 adventures, depending on how daring you truly feel. Okay, I'm done with this. On a serious note, guys, this is the 6-year anniversary of Seek Discomfort. 6 years of you making our dreams happen. This channel would truly not have been possible. It would not be alive today without your support over all of these years. And so today is a special day. As you know by now, we could never afford to tell the ambitious stories we do without Seek. And as a thank you, today's the biggest discount of the year with up to 45% off Seek Discomfort products. Something we've never done before. Only today and on Seekers Day do we make such offers. So if you want to support us and our ability to keep making these stories and get the deal of the millennium as we celebrate 6 years of Seek Discomfort, go on seekdiscomfort.com, check out our 3 mystery boxes, and now back to the story.
Underneath of this hill there is 25 circles.
And how did they figure that out? Like a sonar?
The sonar, yeah.
I see.
So the
25?
25.
Wow. That required a lot of
a lot of work to bury all these sites.
That's the question everybody is asking. Which one is a big effort?
Yeah.
To build up this or to bury down this? Like they are stable, like preserve it really good.
Yeah.
So you are going to ask me the next question. I'm waiting. Why they bury? I don't know.
Yeah, okay. What would it take for us to actually be able to excavate the 25 sites? Like, is it a money thing?
They talk about they are not going to excavate more. A Neolithic archaeology is not able to find treasures.
Ah, so it's not.
Archaeology needs money.
But what do you mean? This is like the origin of the human story.
That's okay, but like if you find gold, you make easy money.
After the Ice Age destroyed everything, this could have been like a first site that rises.
It looks like.
From like leftover technology or leftover,
yes.
I see.
And survivors that managed to.
Survivors to manage it.
What tends to be referred to as the last ice age began about 125,000 years ago. This is a massive deep freeze and changes the climate of the Earth completely and is accompanied by huge impacts on human populations. Then finally, 11,600 years ago, the Earth warms up again very rapidly. There's a huge release of meltwater.
The Younger Dryas was a period that lasted about 1,000 years, around 12,000 years ago, where the Earth's climate radically changed. Floods, massive temperature drops, and large extinctions. The cause for this is unclear, but Graham and many others speculate that this was caused by a cataclysmic event, potentially a meteor hitting Earth, explaining the loss of this ancient civilization that he believes existed in our past.
So you basically believe that there was an ancient civilization that lived before that time that would have been more technologically advanced. They had means of building great things.
What I think is that there is a forgotten episode in the human story, which is remembered only in myths and traditions, which seems to speak to what we would regard today as a higher level of civilization than supposedly existed during the Ice Age. It's perfectly possible for civilizations of different levels of technology to coexist on the same planet, and the proof of that is we're doing that today. We have hunter-gatherers.
That's true.
Very much in the Amazon rainforest. And I'm simply suggesting that that was the case during the Ice Age as well. Now, I do not choose to speculate very far as to the nature of technological advance. We have to remain open to the possibility of new discoveries.
Amar, Staffan and Corey left the site of Gobekli Tepe in complete awe, thinking that their exploration had come to an end. In fact, the real uncovering of new details was about to begin. Our guide had managed to connect us with one of the most pivotal characters in the story of the discovery of Göbekli. This was the key encounter that helped us fully understand how the first discovery was made almost a decade before the official discovery in the mid-90s.
How many years, Tarek, did you work on the site?
20 years.
20 years, yeah. Wow.
Did your interest in carving come from the fact that you spent a lot of time there?
Tabii zaten orada çalışıyor işte hep insan merak ediyor bu insanlar nasıl yapmış. İşte nasıl başarmış. Biz de küçükten ilk başta başladım birkaç tane yapmayı. Baktım yapılabiliyor ondan sonra. Şöyle söyleyeyim mesela bir heykel bulduğumuzda şeyi anlatılmıyoruz. Yani anlatamıyoruz. O heyecanı, o anki duyguyu.
But it's wild that like people from 11,600 years ago inspired him to actually do what he's doing today.
Sculpture which...
The one that you showed me at the bottom?
Yeah, it's the beginning of the story. More or less.
The beginning of the story?
Yeah, more or less.
Wow. Oh, because that's the phallus one that they found. Oh, your grandpa found it.
Yes.
Oh, wow. Do you remember how Klaus felt when he started realizing what he just found?
Ya Klaus zaten oraya geldiğinde yani biliyordu bu çok büyük bir şey. Yani yükünü bazen kaldıramıyordu. O kadar ki yani öneminden bahsedelim ya da işte değerinden. Yani bazen geliyordu böyle artık şeye çıkıyordu. Bu etrafı dağlara çıkıyordu.
Because I keep asking him, what do you think of this theory? What do you think of this person's, opinion about it? And he's like, listen, this is a pool of theories up there, and every person is going to come with their own understanding, and they're going to try and project that on the site. But ultimately,
may never know, and maybe we're gonna have to wait another 50 years for technology to get better and for us to be able to know what exists more underground or what's in the rest of the hills around. Like as we saw, Göbekli Tepe, it's not the only site. There's like what, many
12 of them.
12
for
of them.
now we know in the region.
Yeah.
If the situation in Syria and Iraq becomes better, this story will continue that side.
Wow.
Wow.
Do you want to come to the museum with us to see what your grandpa found?
Gelebilirim abi, sıkıntı yok.
Like he said, yes.
Amazing.
Yes.
We are now at the archaeological museum that is in this basically the same town as Göbekli Tepe. This was not planned at all, but through Tarık, whose father and grandpa were very heavily involved with the excavation. In fact, his grandpa was the one that found the first sculpture, brought it to this museum, and they didn't really pay attention to it because it was indecent for the standards of that time. And then when Klaus came to this museum and saw the sculpture, he asked where they dug it out from. They told him about the village. He went there, he met with Tarık's grandpa and dad, and then that was the beginning of the actual excavation of the entirety of Göbekli Tepe, which is insane.
Let's go.
Thank you.
This is 11,500 years old.
So more or less, this is the oldest human-sized statue in the world. They were making a tunnel for passing the cars. They found out this flag. So the eyes are obsidian. Wow. So okay, like we are in the Neolithic Celen. So like most of the things are found in Göbekli Tepe and Karahantepe.
This was like found 4 or 5 months ago in Karahantepe, where we're going next. I think we're about to see Tarık's grandpa's find, which, as I said, was not. Wow. Where's Tarık?
The main man.
The main man. The reason.
So your grandpa, he was just walking one day and then he found this.
In the farming, normally.
Ah, he was farming?
Yeah, with horse in the farming.
And then Klaus came and saw it.
Questioned my grandfather and my family. And 1994 coming, start digging.
Wow.
Like literally, this is the reason Göbekli Tepe was discovered. Because he just connected the dots. He came, saw it, connected the dots.
Ve büyük babam bütün bunlar hakkında sence ne hissediyordu?
Ya işte o dönemde bilmiyordu ki 2 tane depoda şeyler kaldı, samanın altında kaldı. Herkes dalga geçince.
And it wasn't shown up until a few months ago.
Yeah, and now we get to record.
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks?
2 weeks ago. They just put this on display.
Because like in the city there was an earthquake and a flood, the museum was destroyed, so they just renewed the museum and they decided to put it.
Wow.
Wow theory.
Wow. Wow theory.
Wow theory.
Wow theory. These are the emojis of the Neolithic age. Look at that things.
It is very.
These are them like hey hi smiley, hey ugly, hi grumpy.
The craft and the art to actually display emotion. That's so intricate. That's a very complex skill.
This was found 3 months ago.
That's a pig, a pork.
Tarık was just telling me that there's, in some sites, there's the T-shaped stones like this. They can go up to 7 meters and they can weigh 50 tons.
Tarık, do you think this is how they moved it? Yeah.
I agree, man. It's how we think they moved it.
Imagine 50 tons like pushing that like with a rope.
Nah,
I beg to differ.
I beg to differ too. This is one of the best museums I've ever been to.
Yeah, I said the same. I said this is one of the best days of my life. I told
Whoa. Is this real?
Are you kidding? It like how they gonna carry all that things? It's not real. The scale is the same.
Oh, so this is what it would have looked like if we...
In Göbekli.
So when we were standing up there, I was like, there is nothing that we can do that will actually capture the scale. But I'm so glad that they did like replicas here, because now you stand next to it and you see. How did they erect them?
To carry this, maybe you need 40, 50 people. Just push and pull it, push and pull it. There's no other technology.
That we know of. Remember.
Okay, show them fingers. The fingers. And then the arm.
Okay, that's why they're saying these just represent the bodies of...
Just another thing. This is a belt. And this is the genital area. They cover it with the skin of an animal.
Whoa.
So they are standing in front of you right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, the narrow part. So they have necklaces.
I can't even begin to describe like the feelings that you get walking in a museum like this, knowing that every single piece defies everything we've ever known about our history.
Yeah.
And about how humanity started. And to just be here with Tarek, who showed us his grandpa's discovery that basically changed human history, was the most serendipitous. None of this was planned. Seeing that statue being on display for the first time ever, just 2 weeks ago, and we get to probably be the first people to capture this, is just like unreal.
It is unreal.
So yeah, it's like this is just one of the most beautiful serendipities that we've ever had, and we're very grateful that you're with us here.
The Prince of Göbekli Tepe.
That's right. That's right.
Now we are in Karahantepe, like the second biggest excavations with the same culture with the Göbekli.
In the museum, we saw the vulture that they got out of here 4 months ago.
Damn.
See, you think I'm distracted, but ask me anything. Quiz me right now. Anything you said.
What is the aim of the vulture?
The aim of the vulture is for the sky burials.
That's true.
Yes, there you go! Ask me anything. Ask me anything.
Second question.
Yes, sir.
What is the aim of the phallus?
The phallus, that's
The
a lot.
penis.
Yeah. For nomadic people, 2 things are very important: having kids and protecting their sheep, protecting their herd.
There is no domesticated animal. What they gonna protect?
No.
Hunting.
Half a mark.
See, it's starting from here. It was an enclosure before. It is destroyed, so like place for sitting in there. It is circular.
Can we sit?
So you can sit.
The ancestors just chilled out. Crazy feeling to just be like, wow, this is where chill vibes of humanity started.
It really feels like a bonfire place situation on a hill, and then the wind just disappeared, right?
Every hill has a different ritual aim. Because like in Göbekli, most of they found out animal sculptures. In here, they most of find out human sculptures.
I see.
It's just a theory. Could be the Gobekli Tepe is for feasting, for hunting, and here is like for being a man.
See, so this is like a rite of passage ritual kind of thing.
Ritual.
I see.
So 1, 2, 3 rooms, which they are connected. Like metaphor of this 3 room is this: if you enter from a door and exit from another door, you are not the same person anymore.
I see.
You change.
Yeah.
This pool is full of penises.
Yeah.
All of them is penis. Just one is an animal sculpture, and the man, the face of a head of a man watching it. So they just go in the main circle. But like Karahantepe needs tons of excavation.
What has the discovery of this site tell us about
The
Göbekli?
discovery, like after they found out the Göbekli was here, archaeology says this could be not alive. Before the excavation, they counted more than 250 T-shaped stones head just standing on the ground.
And was this also deliberately buried like the other ones?
The same.
Okay.
The same.
This is a wrap for day 1 of the Turkey adventure. We are now going to be driving 7 hours to Cappadocia so that we can explore the biggest underground city in the entire world. 15 to 20,000 people used it as a shelter at some point. Some people believe that it wasn't just an underground city, and it was more used for people to shelter from some sort of event that Earth or that region went through. Sam over here got us a once of a kind permission for us to be sleeping in there. So we're actually gonna be...
You're really gonna sleep in there?
Yeah!
With no bed?
No bed, nothing! So, sorry Corey, sorry stuff. Here's the long drive ahead. See you next week.
The first time I went to Derinkuyu was way back in 2013. It is the most extraordinary place. It goes down to a depth of 85 meters. There's about 18 stories of tunnels within it. It's a whole underground complex. So, those are the statistics and that's the context, but the statistics cannot represent the powerful impact and the powerful feeling that Derinkuyu creates.